This video is totally unnecessary. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on the free-to-pause account. We are working on the Titus fusion, and we have a shard pull session coming up because we have a glowing yellow portal, and it is 2x Sacreds. And there is a double chance to get, what's his name, Balor as well. This dude who you can kind of see behind me. I'll move myself away later on. But should be interesting. I think it's not a bad time to pull shards. Generally, I'm not a huge fan of the 2x Sacreds just because Sacreds tend to be really, really useful for summon rushes, so they are useful tools for getting other things, and they can be very rare for a lot of accounts. But on this account, where epics are at a premium, I think pulling a guaranteed epic is certainly worth thinking about in this particular case. As I mentioned before at the intro, this may not be necessary, and we're going to talk about it. So this is the champ chase. You see, we have 1,550 points to get the epic. Well, we go in here, a void epic is 350 points, and I will, over the course of this weekend, have at least 3 of these to pull during this event. That will be 1,050 points. I also have Lemonisi, who will be summoned tonight, and she will be 500 points. That gets me 1,550 points. So I could not pull any shards and be done with this event. I think I'm still going to be pulling some shards on this account because I could use several super powerful epics to help boost this account. The double chance for a legendary means I have a 12% chance of pulling a legendary per shard. That's pretty decent. That's the equivalent of actually being 6 shards into Mercy for every single shard pull, so that's not too bad. And there's a legendary book within reach of, if I pull 4 epics, I will be within 500 points of getting this legendary book. And this legendary book is going to be very, very valuable on this account because I have Scylla the Drakes to book, I have Brogni to book, and eventually I'm going to want to book Titus. Titus is a good champion. I don't think he's going to be a huge priority on this account immediately. He's going to need 2 books for this skill, although this skill, if it doesn't get booked immediately, probably okay. He's going to need 4 books for this skill to get this off of cooldown, because I don't have anybody to reset this, so I'm going to want this on a 3-turn cooldown. So he needs at least 6 books. He does use only 10, so from that perspective, it's not too bad. And this skill could actually prove to be pretty interesting in CVC, or PvP, I should say. I have at least 3 legendaries that I want to book that I haven't had a chance to book yet. That's not including the fact that I certainly wouldn't mind eventually booking like my Sun Wukong. I mean, I think you're fully booked finally. Yeah, you're fully booked. So I've got most of my people booked at this point in time that are really, really important to me. But I've got 3 legendaries that would be great to book. And honestly, if I pull another legendary, it would be amazing as well. And if I don't, that's fine. You know, if I can only get 4 epics from these shards, I'm fine with that. Hopefully I get a good epic, but if I only get 4, that's fine. Other things I can do for some points, as we said, we can fuse 2 of these guys. In fact, let's just do 2 of these guys right now. Yep, 350 tournament points. And another one here. Another 350 tournament points. See, I am already halfway done with the fragments I'm going to need for this. And I'm glad I planned on this event needing to do it because I figured it was going to be easier, but I actually figured it was going to be closer to 2,500 points. And the fact that it's only 1,500 points is actually a big bone for Polarium. Polarium is actually working to save shards for you, particularly if you did the midweek summon rush. So that's kind of nice. And that's the thing. Because Sacreds are not particularly great for champion chase points, and you might think, well, Bront, why are they not good for champion chase points? Because you're going to get at least 250 points for an epic or 500 for a legendary. And yes, that's correct, but the reason they're not is because during a 2x Ancient, for example, when I can pull 10 of these for Ancients, and I can get myself, you know, 500 or 300 points for a 10 pull, as a generic average, and probably more than that, because you're guaranteed to get an epic. Well, not guaranteed to get an epic, but your rate of epics is somewhere at a 1 every 7 or 8 shards. So you're getting 1 to 2 of them per pull, you know, so if we say you get an average of 3 of them over 5 pulls, that's 750 points, plus you've got, at that point in time, 17 rares, which is another 170. So that is 900 over the course of 20 shards, give or take. Now, that's probably not perfect math there, so maybe the expected rate is probably closer to like 750 to 800. But regardless, that means that Ancients, 40 Ancients finishes a 2,500 point thing, you know, pretty reasonably, maybe 60 Ancients. But 60 Ancients is easier to get for a lot of people because you can get Ancients just from, you know, spending some of your gems if you want to spend your gems. You can get Ancients from the market. You can get Ancients from dungeons. You can get Ancients from any level of clan boss. Versus Sacreds, you have to get those from those top 2 chests, as well as the few other areas in the game, such as the 3v3 arena if you're in gold, which a lot of people aren't, or your monthly quest gets you 1 a month. You know, that stuff like that are the only ways to get Sacreds. So Sacreds are generally a lot more valuable. And as far as that value for point, Ancients and Voids are just so much better. So that is generally why a 2x summon rush for Sacreds is just not a great time to go for a summon rush. And the fact that their points reflect that by not making it super challenging and actually making it something you could have done for free if you could plan for the Lemonici thing. And even if you couldn't plan for the Lemonici thing, planning to pull these champions from fragments was just going to be a huge, huge boon for you for the champion chase. So I've got my 700 points right now. I'll have another 350 the moment I get 25 more fragments. I can also still, since I haven't actually done rosin yet, I could, for example, I actually could fuse this dude. I've already got 2 of them, but I got enough to fuse a 3rd one, so I could fuse a 3rd one pretty easily. I could certainly fuse another rosin champion here as well. A little annoying that I can't fuse this one here. So I could fuse one of the ones I already have, but that's not the worst thing because that gives me another Faction Guardian. Or maybe I fuse both of them, I get 2 Faction Guardians, and if I have to eat a Faction Guardian to fuse rosin, that's fine. That's another way I could get 250 more points, or maybe even 500 more points without pulling shards. That will get me the legendary book without really spending a ton of resources if I pull these 4 Sacreds. And, you know, with the 2x, I think I'm going to pull these 4 Sacreds. So let me set the camera right, let me grab that Pepsi, and we'll be right back. So here we are. We've got 4 Sacreds. We've got a Dream. We are pretty fresh off of Mercy. I think I got Brogni 3 into the 6 shards I pulled over the midweek summon rush. So, you know, we're 3 into Mercy, so I'm not necessarily expecting a legendary. Pulling 4 of these at a 12% chance, there is a decent chance of me getting a legendary from this. It is more than a 20% chance overall. So, crack this Pepsi open. Pepsi is not a sponsor, but Pepsi brings us luck. And Pepsi, you certainly could be a sponsor. Think about it. Let's get pulling. And let's get something interesting. Kunoichi. Oh, that's not the Shadowkin Reviver. I would have liked that a little bit better, but she's pretty decent if I recall. Weaken on the A1 doesn't suck. It's not a great weaken, but that's fine. AoE Leech can be very, very helpful for healing, so that's actually a pretty decent ability. And then Ally Protection on all allies except this champion for 2 turns fill this champion turn meter by 50%. The turn meter is a little weird. Ally Protection is pretty good. It's actually a really good way to deal with the boss. This could be an interesting champion if I'm really struggling without a reviver and Taragi is not doing the job by himself. But I have another Taragi, so I could certainly build another Taraki as well. But she's not too bad here. Place a block damage buff on this champion with 1 turn, whatever their HP drops below 50%. That could be clutch, because what can happen with that is if she gets targeted by the boss, she could get this block damage and then not be dead after the second hit, because that's often what this boss does, is the boss will target a champion, pound on them once, stun everybody else, and put fear on them. If they get a turn, they might not even get a chance to do anything, and then they take a turn, and then she goes again. Now, that to be fair, that's going to ruin the block damage for 1 turn anyway, but, you know, there's a chance. We'll see. Could be interesting. Probably not a bad champion to have on the roster for some flexibility standpoint, at the very least. I don't know if I'm going to build her or not, but very, very helpful, especially if you don't have a Taragi. So, let's get something cool. Let's get something cool. A dupe Zargala. that fits with this account. I've got a Zargala at level 40. I'm planning on building her for Faction Wars because she can nuke. She's good for the waves in various Centranos floors as well. She's got an AoE, decreased defense. Now, it's only a 75% chance to land, but it is every hit after the first hit. So she hits 3 times. The first hit can't land it. The second hit and the third hit can. So it's got a very good chance of landing, but it's not quite 100%. But it hits very, very hard. Then she's got a single target nuke that if she kills somebody with this, she then activates this skill again and possibly kills everybody else as well. So very, very good champion for damage. Definitely kind of squishy. And she's got weaken on the A1. What's not to like? So looking forward to her. Aura in all battles, very useful as well. She's not like a top tier epic, but she is a very solid, usable, B to A tier epic. So I'm excited, but unfortunately she's a duplicate, but you know what? That's 10% of an extra something on my Ogrins, or not my Ogrin, my Orcs, I should say. So, all right, let's get something cool. Let's get something cool. Ulrich the Hooded is not something cool. This guy, I don't care for this guy. He's not trash, but he's not great. Got a single target, decreased turn meter. Turn meter doesn't hurt decrease. This is a 50% turn meter decrease by 7.5% and 3% for each buff on the target. That's not horrible, but it's only a 50% chance. It's an A1 though. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of removing 2 random buffs from the target before attacking. 75% chance of stealing 2 random buffs instead of if the target has 4 or more buffs. That's not too bad. And stealing buffs can be good. Removing buffs can be good. The fact it's not even 100% unless there are 4 or more is kind of frustrating. It makes him less useful than he could be. Honestly, if they just made this a 75% chance of removing and stealing if he has more than 4 or more buffs, that would be a significant boost to this dude. Finally, he's got an okay damaging AoE, decreased defense, and decreased accuracy, 100% chance. Both of those combined, not too bad. So that's why he's got some use. You could build him for some damage. His damage isn't going to be great, but it's not bad. Not a bad champion. You certainly could be interesting for Faction Wars if you need some damage, and especially for the protection of decreased attack and decreased accuracy. Not too bad. And he's got a faction attack aura, which I guess could find a use. All right, we got one more. Come on, Pepsi. Come on, Polarium. I would be super, super stoked with like a Deacon, with like a Stag Knight, something like that. I need some good support epics. Let's go. And as nobody has said, I'm glad to see Drake. All right. Drake is not great. Drake is all single target. He can do some decent single target damage, and he gets an extra turn if he kills somebody on the A1. Just not good. So, I don't know if Drake's a duplicate or not. We're going to go check that quickly. So, not a particularly spicy pull, but you know what? I just got really, really lucky with some other stuff as well. So I don't have a dupe Ulrich the Hooded, so I guess he was new. Was that a dupe Drake? That is a dupe Drake. And I am finished with my Lizardman Faction Guardians on my epics already, which can let you know a little bit about how many duplicates I have pulled on this account. It has been absolutely nuts. Orcs, Zargala is going to be my first dupe here, but that's good because 10% extra HP will help my Tagore, and will help my Zargala stay alive, and will help my Jorg as well, so that's good. Yeah, I guess that is what we got. So nothing particularly else exciting here. I don't even remember who the fourth one we pulled was. Was that, oh, Shadowkin. Yeah, I don't think that was a dupe Konoichi. No, it was not. So, hey, 2 new dupes. Got some faction progress for the vault there. I will have champions to build. And hey, look at this. We have got the champion chase, so we can grab this stuff as well. And then just got to grab one more of these fragment summons here. Get this dude as well. I will get these guys trained up, and that will finish up the champion chase for me, and that is 3 out of 4 of them done. I'll be able to summon this dude during CVC, which I believe the CVC is going to be a non-personal rewards, because I'm pretty sure we had a big personal rewards CVC 2 weeks ago. And they generally don't do back-to-back personal rewards, but you never know. Double check for Polarium to announce whether or not they're doing CVC personal rewards next week or not. Regardless, it's not a bad time to pull, unless you're tanking CVC specifically. It's not a bad time to pull the dude, get some extra rewards for CVC. Can help your clan, or at least, get you something kind of cool. And, hey, hopefully you guys get something better than what I've got or pulling, or you know what, let me know. Are you going to skip this event? Are you not going to pull as well? Do let me know. If you want to support the channel, there is a link down below to start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account. I'm sure plenty of you guys already have a Raid Shadow Legends account available, but hey, my new link is going to give you Elenarl, and then it's going to give you Tagore at level 15. And Tagore is an absolutely busted reviver and a great champion for early game. And Elenarl gives you a ton of poisons, as well as the ability to poison explode, as well as burns. She can be really useful in clan boss. She can be really useful in wave clear. She is a very good champion to have on an early game account as well. So it's a great time to start a new account on Raid. Use that below. Use the code Demon Slayer. Get yourself a free Tholan. Tholan is an absolute beast of a dwarf legendary as well. And hey, it helps support me, and I really do appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I do appreciate all the support, whether or not you're clicking the links or not. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. I appreciate you guys hitting the likes. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the videos. I appreciate your positive and even your negative comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And until the next video, I am Bront CatHerder.